Am I the butthole for selling my family home because my pregnant sister-in-law ate my dinner? I know crafty title, but I'm in a rush to get to work, so excuse my grammar. Also, I want to point out me and my brother have two different fathers. I, 19 female, lost my father last year to cancer. He left me 90% of his stuff, including his family home that was left to him by his dad. It's been in their family for over 100 years. My brother, 34, and my dad didn't have a relationship, but he did leave him $10K. My mom was pissed at the will reading, but since she got $10K she couldn't do anything about it for the past year. Me and her live okay together. She went on acting like it was her house like before, which I had no problem with, till in May my brother and his girlfriend, 30, moved in, without even asking me. They're messy, entitled, and rude. I told them in July I want them out by September because they don't pay for anything nor wash a dish. In August they announced they were pregnant and my sister-in-law smugly said, "Guess we won't be moving out now." It didn't go down well, but when I told them I wanted them out, my mom and brother basically laughed in my face. Well, the past few months have been hell. They've become worse than before, and my mom enables it, then demands me to treat my sister-in-law like a princess because she's pregnant. I once had to wait outside McDonald's till they opened to get her a McMuffin. Well, here is where I may be the butthole because my sister-in-law is pregnant. She eats everything she sees, like the cupcakes my friend made me for my birthday. She ate all 6, didn't even get to try them. I can't even make my lunch the night before because when I go to get it, it will be gone. She'll have a smug look on her face while rubbing her belly, then laugh and say I couldn't help myself. Blame the baby. If I put stuff in my room, my mom will open the door with a spare key. Sister-in-law can go through my mini fridge. Well, a week ago I was running late to collage. I didn't have time for my breakfast or to make lunch, and I had to go to work straight after, so all I had that day was a bar of chocolate. When I got home, I was starving. I made myself dinner. While it was cooling down, I went to use the bathroom. I must have been in there 10 minutes at most. By the time I came out, she had 70% of my dinner ate, and I literally lost my crap. Of course, she started crying. My mom and brother started screaming at me for making her cry, making excuses like how she couldn't help it and it was my fault for leaving food around her. Well, I had enough. I told them get out, just like before. I got mocked, but here's the thing. Back in October, my uncle offered me a life-changing amount of money for the house. I called him up crying a few days ago explaining the situation. He said he'd buy the house, but he will evict my mom and brother. They of course didn't take it too well, and I have had to stay with a friend. I've been receiving texts and I'm being tagged in multiple posts on social media. I'm starting to think I'm the bad person now. So am I the butthole for making my mom and brother homeless? Edit. Wow, I expected a few comments, but wow. So I'm on a break. I'll address some things. Some of your roasts are hilarious. I honestly deserve it for how bad my grammar is, but I was walking to work and declining calls from my mom while making this post. I almost said F it and didn't post. If I sell the house to my uncle, I will lose 100K, but he's always been good to me, and it's one of those situations where I'd sleep better knowing it's gone to someone in my dad's family. My mom told me because of my age I wouldn't be taken seriously if I tried to evict them. If I evict them and continue to live in the house along with the high financial costs, I don't think they'd ever let me live in peace. My mom has health issues and my sister-in-law will have to move in with her parents. They won't allow my brother, so I'd be splitting up a young family. In my mom's words, guys, I'm actually crying. I've never been told before I'm proud of you, and the fact I've seen a thread of comments telling that means the absolute world to me. Edit 2. I plan to meet a lawyer and will update you all as soon as I've news. Also, since people are curious, the house is worth $2.5 million. It's in the heart of London. NTA, they stomped all over you, man. They didn't treat you like family, so why should you treat them that way? You're fine, mate. Your uncle is the one evicting them, not you. I would caution against making a decision as huge as selling a home when emotions are high. It sounds like a solid offer from your uncle, but speak with a realtor to ensure you are getting a fair offer. I would also highly recommend you get a plan in place for rolling the money into a stable investment that will last, whether it's a home or long-term investments. Also consider if you really want to permanently part with your father's home. You could always evict your brother and rent it out until a time that makes sense to live back in. Edit. Original post states uncle is offering $100,000 less than estimated worth. This is a hit too large to take, in my opinion, just to get rid of Sil. If you can't stand up to them in your own home, are you going to be able to stand up to them when they beg and plead and lay on the emotional manipulation for the cash you get out of the house? Step 1. You need to lay out some boundaries that will be enforced immediately. Sil doesn't touch your things or your food. Mom stays out of your room and does not get a key. If anyone breaks these rules, you move toward immediate eviction proceedings. Step 2. Speak with a lawyer and become better educated in eviction law. Be prepared to serve 30-day notice to your brother and Sil, and mom if necessary. Step 3. Brother needs a plan to move out. If he knows you are serious about resorting to eviction, he will figure something out. You are not his only option, you're just the cheapest one. Step 4. Get a therapist. You need to talk to someone impartial. It sounds like your family has beaten you down for many years. You need to have someone in your court who can help you build yourself back up. This will be impossible to do living in close quarters with ungrateful people who treat you with no respect. Step 5. Figure out what you want to do with your house. There is a lot of space between selling and living with your miserable family. You could rent it out for a while and live alone in a smaller place. This would actually be my recommendation. You could get away from your family, maintain your home equity, and rent someplace smaller and more peaceful for yourself. No matter what you do, don't let your mom or brother manipulate you out of your home or earnings from your home. Your father left this to you to build your future. Don't let them ruin it for you. I have to agree with this. The way the post is written, it sounds like Original Post is selling the house just to get herself away from her family, not because she actually wants to part with her dad's house. If that's the case, she needs to find a way to get some breathing room and figure out what she really wants to do. Maybe it's to sell to her uncle, but maybe it's not. She needs to see a lawyer ASAP and evict them. It may be easier to sell than to evict. Whichever favors Op's mental health wins. She is way too young to give up that kind of asset. But she might be too young to afford it as well. Depending on where they live, property tax could be thousands of dollars. I think we can all agree that sale and eviction are both viable options with pros and cons, and Original Post should talk to realtors/tenancy lawyers/accountant/etc. and weigh the options herself based on her own financial and mental situations. While selling the house might seem easier/quicker, it may not be her best short or long-term decision. She should talk to someone outside the family to give her advice. Generally, she could rent the place out in the near term. If there is no mortgage, the rental income should cover the property taxes. I think it also depends on whether or not the mortgage is paid off. If it is, then selling it would be a bad move because Original Post would outright own the house and only have to pay the bills like water and electricity, which at 19 would be amazing. Compared to hundreds or thousands a month in rent elsewhere. Even 1% of a $1 million property value is less than $1,000 a month in rent would be. If it's a fair price, there's no value to having a house versus the cash it's worth. You can just take your cash and buy a different house you like better, without any annoying pests living in it. She should at least get someone else to appraise it then. I agree, an independent appraisal would be of value. But I'd be willing to take a tad less than appraised value as an eviction fee in this case. It costs time and money in legal and court fees to evict someone, and you usually expect damages to a house when evicting residents who need to be forcibly removed. And by selling to a family member, Original Post can avoid the social stigma of being the person to let the house leave the family, and let the uncle be the bad guy evicting them. That's worth a lot of money in my mind, especially if you care what your family thinks of you, which it seems Original Post really does. The one mistake I think Original Post made was telling them they are going to be evicted when the house is sold. In Op's shoes, I would have just sold the house and left the job of serving notice and beginning the eviction process to the uncle. I'd hate to sell my family home left to me by my father. But, giving notice and seeking the sheriff to evict these squatters would be grueling and possibly not even a sure thing. The house isn't leaving the family. It's going to the uncle, which is a close enough succession if the child doesn't want to deal with it. And I really do wish I knew why the husband and father decided to basically ignore his wife in the will. That right there speaks volumes to me. He provided for his offspring and left his wife a nice token. She was married to the man, for heaven's sake. She knows what this is about, I bet? I disagree. A 100-year-old house is an asset that is extremely likely to appreciate in value for the heritage quality of it. The chances of the money you get in return appreciating at anywhere near that same value is extremely unlikely. And the house can become income if Original Post takes on roommates or rents it out entirely. That's on top of its value. If she can roll it into a smaller house with affordable property taxes, she might be better situated all around. It sounds like what she really needs right now is distance from her family so she can grow her confidence without being constantly beat down. Not to mention older houses like that can be prohibitively expensive to remodel or repair too. She has other assets, according to the earlier part of the post. Yep. One requires negotiation if they want to take it to court. The other does not. If Dad had wanted it to go to Uncle, he would have left it for Uncle. I believe having land/property/a house is way more valuable than having the money, especially if sentiment is involved. Original post just needs help getting them out, which is expected due to her youth. I hope she keeps the house. It's not going to the uncle, it's been given to original post and she's selling it to her uncle, his brother. Not a gift. I understand your point, but I'm not sure original post is bound to keep the house. It's her house now to do with as she sees fit. That can be selling to anyone including her uncle. She should check with an attorney and a realtor. Why would he give it to his brother in the first place when his kid and wife are living there? To be fair though, the house will stay in the family. Seems like the uncle is the dad's brother, I think. But I agree that original post should take a little bit to decide if that's the route they want to take. I agree. If she's going to sell it, it would be nice if it stayed in the family. However, she should really talk to someone outside the family to give her advice and to give her the time to decide what she really wants. If original post is from the US, they should also considering buying a new house with the sale proceeds to defer taxes. She's going to need a new house at some point and it makes way more financial sense to buy it with the proceeds of the sale through a 1031 exchange and defer any taxes. Hopefully original post gets professional advice before selling. Op should buy something like a small condo, so no one else can move in. This. You know it's a life-changing amount of money, but do you know what the house is actually worth? It could be a life-changing sum and still a total swindle. Also, you can legally evict them and not lose your house. Evicting them and possibly selling to your uncle should be two separate processes, since the thing you're really upset about right now is your awful sister-in-law. NTA, but take a deep breath, get your house appraised before you accept any offer from your uncle, notify your family in writing that they have to leave, and look into the proper procedure for eviction in your state. Oh, fair point, I didn't consider that. NTA, but I don't trust the uncle paid fair market value. She likely got ripped off by him too. Depending on how much under fair market value it is, it may be well worth it not to have to deal with an eviction. Evictions can take a long time and be very expensive. There is also no guarantee they won't do a bunch of damage out of spite on their way out. With a pandemic, it could be 6 months to a year before she could legally evict them. Can confirm. Friend had lawyer tell her it would be cheaper to pay $30,000 to a cousin living rent-free in the house she inherited from her father, than the eviction/court process. Not to mention it could take years. This was 20 years ago when $30K was real money. NTA et al. And I'm very proud of you for standing up for yourself. Thank you so much. I might sound pathetic, but this made me smile. I'd not heard the words proud of you my entire life. Wow guys, I'm actually crying. You have no idea how much this means. My family doesn't believe in even saying I love you to each other. Well then you can hear it twice. I am also very proud of you for standing up for your rights, and no longer being pushed over by your sister-in-law etc. As a mom, I'm super proud of you for standing up and not allowing them to continue to treat you like crap in your own home. You are not the butthole in any way for not letting them take advantage, and they are just mad that their free rent/food is gone. If you ever need a reminder of that, hit my inbox. I will happily be your stand-in mom. This, and I second that as a mom. I agree 100%. Not a mom, wish I was. Life keeps conspiring against me and my family. When it happens, it happens. Took me till I was almost 40 to have my first one. I'm 40 in 6 months, but it could be a few more years. Plus, I have heads. We'll see, I guess. Never say never. I had his sister 3 years later, this from a woman that had been told would never be able to get pregnant without IVF. Good guy opossum Jesus r/brand new sentence, Reddit link. In fairness, I am but a disciple of the teachings of opossum Jesus, not the marsupial himself. Lol. I am super proud of you. I think this is a smart choice. These people have shown their true colors and now you can go on and plan your life without them. Sorry about your dad. Me too, I am proud of you. It takes a lot of courage to stand up for yourself. This sounds like the perfect solution. Sorry for your loss. I'll jump on this and say I'm proud of your restraint. Being pregnant isn't an excuse to act like a hungry raccoon. I couldn't help it translates to I don't give a F about anyone but myself, huge NTA. This is like 100 people telling you they're proud of you for standing up to bullies. Sometimes the internet is good. Add me to the proud parade. This thread has taught me the kindness in strangers. Please do think long and hard about whether you actually want to sell, or whether you just want to get away from your crafty family members. I don't know if the home means anything to you, but to lose $100K on the sale is a lot of money. There are other options like renting it out, possibly even to your uncle, living in it yourself if you want to, selling it on the open market, or even just letting it sit for a few weeks while you take the time to think about it. My mom told me because of my age I wouldn't be taken seriously if I tried to evict them. Your mom is lying to you. You're a legal adult and the legal owner, you have every right to evict them. If they bother you afterwards, there are solutions like blocking them, going no contact and getting a restraining order, but just a visit by the police scares most people off. It sounds like they're very abusive people to you, and I understand why you just want to get out of this situation ASAP. But future you might regret selling, just think it through carefully. ETA, who told the home is worth $100K more than what your uncle is offering? If it was anyone in your family, they are most likely lying to you. At the very least get it independently appraised. Remind me. 1 month. I'm proud of you, Op. Go out there and live your best life. No regrets, no remorse for these awful people. So proud of you. Hope you're proud of yourself too! I'm proud of you. It's hard to swim upstream. I'm proud of you, Op. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.